Well, this is kind of towards the end of his career, and it's the last time he played Alfred on screen, as far as I know.
Oh, he did
a Super Bowl ad or something.
He did on-star commercials, in the mid 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's a man who was dedicated. He was like the Anthony Daniels of this franchise.
Right? Yeah. It's Alfred, I'll do it.
Yeah, Pat Hengel wouldn't show up, but Michael Goff was like, "Oh yeah, by all means, I'll do whatever Alfred Batman crap you need."
But at the other end of his career, I don't know if you dug this out when you were introducing Michael Goff all those years ago in Batman '89. But did you talk about his turn in Doctor Who?
No, I know he was the Toy Master?
The Celestial Toy Maker.
Yeah.
And just when you were talking about the evil machinations, and he's like, well, this was he was an immortal being who lived and for so long that he filled his days by trapping people in his big kind of labyrinth or whatever, and forced them to play games for their own survival. And this is like 1966 episode in the third season of Doctor Who, and I had this kind of quite juicy, salacious, and kind of awful fact, and I fact checked it before coming on, and sadly it wasn't true. Well, happily it wasn't true. I was going to say that Michael Goff had the ignoble distinction of being the only person to use the N-word on Doctor Who. But it was in that episode, and the N-word was in the episode 2 of the Celestial Toymaker, but it wasn't him. It was another character saying it, and it was in the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, but the horrible version with the N-word in it. And so Michael Goff's record is clean. Yeah. He's never, as far as I know, said it.
I mean, he is very old. Yeah. So he's probably said it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's very old.
It was a different
25
time.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although we should say, of course, as well, there is a DC villain called the Toymaker. So
everything's
it would have been great, though. That would have been your Batman 5. It says, yes, the Celestial Toymaker is back. But he's actually...
And it would have crossed over with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
So this season, then you would have been Paul McGann or someone having to come in then to guest. But...
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great. I'm on board for this. Let's write our own treatment.
That seems like a thing that should have... There's bound to be a comic of Doctor Who and Batman. There's so many of these random... There's like Doctor Who and Star Trek and stuff, but like there's Batman and Predator and Alien.
I was going to say Predator. Yeah, I saw that in the shop. I was like, what?
Yeah. So I think it just stands a reason someone at some point would have been like, what would happen if Batman met the Doctor?
I guess you'd have to emphasize the kind of greatest detective version of Batman.
Yeah.
Because that'd be the most kind of compatible.
Yeah.
Or maybe you make Batman very action orientated, and then the Doctor is being very
cerebral,
clever and considered and cerebral. Yeah.
I suppose it would always be that thing though, like, two lonely heroes who have people who keep attaching themselves to them.
Yeah.
And then eventually they all move on and stuff.
Yeah, or die.
Yeah, it just has to keep going and fighting the good fight. It writes itself, this thing.
Okay,
it should be delivering this to BBC and Warner Brothers, but it specifically has to be George Clooney and Paul McGann. It's like, no, it can't be friggin' Jodie Whittaker and Robert Pattinson. None of that. Like, it's gotta be the mid-90s. The very most, you have to get in Sylvester McCoy. At the very most.